Yeah,
Did you see a photo of it?
I ended up seeing searching for an article, searching for it on Google, and it raised an article from Reuters. And there's this picture of the U.S. flags in the same road, the same one that I showed in the video last week. So also with the United States. So it's I would say that's just standard procedure,
Yeah.
nothing more than that. It doesn't deserve a Reuters article to, say, oh, look,
No, well, no, it's important. Are they making a big deal of it or not? Are they following all the protocols? Or what kind of protocols are they following? So that's why it's worth reporting.
yeah, I believe that the protocols there was also so well, yeah. Okay, I finished by saying that I made a mistake last week. I would like to start introducing everybody. Remember to like, subscribe to the channels, and follow Larry on sonar21.com. Hey, Larry, my good friend, how are you doing?
I'm here.
And we started direct to the subject today. Uh, so I saw some, mumbling about, oh, she didn't went to the airport to meet with Trump, and from what I researched, this is standard protocol. There was
Bullshit. No, 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 no,
no.
no.
Okay.
When Putin comes, she goes to the airport. When Kim Jong-un comes, she goes to the airport. So when it's a priority visit, she goes to the airport. If you're like, sort of the regular Joe, yeah, they send out, the people they send out are for, quote, protocol. But don't buy into this nonsense that, oh, yeah, this is just all normal. It wasn't normal. It was the Chinese sending a message. Because if Trump was important, she would have been there. Trump is not important. That's why she was not there.
Well, at least if they go from away from protocol, they do it for VIPs, and so they at the maximum just followed protocol, which was also interesting that they hold. Who was that? Scott Bassett, because he was not holding his nameplate on the suit. Did you see this video?
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Um, if I'm not mistaken, it was Scott Bassett. Someone in the chat, please see if I'm making a mistake. He was trying to enter the hall for the meeting, and he was held by the Chinese security because he was not using the identifier, the nameplate, the identifier.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that.
You haven't seen that? Okay,
No.
I'll send you the video later.
I do know that because Marco Rubio was under sanctions, that the way the Chinese got around the sanction prohibition of him coming to the country was they changed his name. So instead of using the Chinese symbol that normally would be used with Marco Rubio, they used a different symbol. This is according to Chaz Freeman, that stood for rude, rash, abrasive. So it was an insult. They were able to insult Rubio without him realizing he was being insulted.
So rude Rubio, that would be
yeah.
So yeah, I would like today to really start with this meeting, because last week we talked about it a little bit, but it hadn't happened yet. What are your takes on this meeting, Larry? I know you've been talking about this already for the last 5 days, perhaps, but I would like to see. I had conflict views on that, but I would like you to explain to me what are your views on the meeting, what was achieved by the United States, if anything, and what do you think was
Nothing was achieved. Nothing. Other than that Trump got to take a trip to China, got some frequent flyer miles, got to eat some hopefully decent Chinese food, even though I suspect he would prefer to eat McDonald's. He got the meetings with Xi. They didn't get any commitment for providing rare earth minerals that the United States absolutely needs in order to build weapons that they hope to use against China. And got no help whatsoever from the Chinese with respect to ending, cause putting pressure on Iran to surrender to Western demands. So it was, like I said, it was a nothing burger. You say, oh, you got a verbal commitment to maybe buy 200 Boeing aircraft. Well, we'll see. Um, they may buy some more soybeans. Yeah, maybe. But again, none of this was firm, and none of the business executives that went along with Trump came away doing handsprings for, oh my God, we got this major deal done with the Chinese. They didn't get any of that. Chinese sent a message. The United States is a declining power. China is the rising power, period. That was the message. She said that directly to Trump's face, and Trump didn't understand it.
Yeah, one of the things, oh, which by the way, see the Summer 21 cup uh, mug actually.
Yes.
I interestingly have been checking on Chinese developments on technology, because one of the arguments that we may talk about is the dependence of China about on U.S. technology. I mean, chips manufacturing, at this point, GPU manufacturing, because GPUs are very important for AI, and yeah, China is an AI superpower as well. Um, but I've been checking. China is basically, well, slowly, perhaps not in the pace that it should, but it's slowly replacing US technology by its own technology. Well, it's not top notch technology when it comes to to CPUs and GPUs, but it's pretty good for most of tasks, especially bureaucratic tasks. How do you see the needing of China, the dependence of China on the U.S.? I think that's a very crucial point for understanding.
China is no longer dependent on the U.S. for anything. The U.S. doesn't have a damn thing that China needs. Um, the U.S. ended up doing the Chinese a favor when they prohibited the sale of NVIDIA chips to the Chinese. The Chinese said, "Okay, we'll develop our own," which they did. The Huawei phone, which is prohibited in the West. Well, they're selling. Let's say they're selling 600, 800 million of those in China now. The surpassing Apple phone. Apple wants to be out there, but in fact, Huawei ends up having far better capabilities, is my understanding. So it's the United States has shot itself in the foot. I'd encourage anybody watching or listening to go to the YouTube channel called Inside China Business. It's hosted by a man named Kevin Wamsley, and he devoted an entire 20-minute presentation on just how China is actually winning, or in his words, has already won the AI competition. The United States just doesn't realize it. China is able to do it with a much lower cost, with a much lower drain on resources, because what you're finding in the United States now is all these AI data centers, they're sucking up water, they're sucking up electricity to the point that they're affecting the lives of people. In outside of Reno, Nevada, up in the mountains, Lake Tahoe, in that community. All the residents have been told that they got to find their own new source of electricity, because the existing company's going to stop supplying them. What the hell? So it's not like you just have to, that there are lots of providers out there. There aren't. So this is they're robbing the average citizen to fund these data centers, which it's questionable how much how effective they're actually going to be. I've the experience I've had with AI. Yeah, it improves. It speeds up your ability to do research and to collect critical facts, but you always have to check the facts they come up with because oftentimes they're not true or they're wrong.
Yeah, no, it's. I think what people in the West got AI wrong is that, yeah, it's pretty nice. You've seen the images I do, for the thumbnails and the call for watching the show that I sent you.
Yeah.
Those are pretty awesome. I would say if you go to a Chinese AI LLM model like Quan, or they're going to be decent or averagely good, but they're not awesome. Yet, if you go for math, programming, and STEM type of things, they're pretty damn good for a long time already.
Mm-hmm.
And the Westerns are kind of pacing up right now at that. And I think that's the good use for AI. Do math. That's what computers are made to do,
Yeah.
math.
Yeah.
And they work awesomely. And I think that's the point. The Asians, the Chinese, they are basically using AI to create, STEM stuff, math, engineering, and they are publishing papers, like maniacs, like there's no tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
While we are doing very nice pictures, I like those, but you know that's not the great point of mankind evolution, I would
Yeah.
say.
Yeah. Well, it's like I said, this may be sort of a new technological revolution in terms of access to information and how to, rapidly acquire it. But what's fascinating is it's still well short. In theory, if you ask AI a question, in my mind, what ought to happen is that with this enormous computing capability, it can go out and it can grab every document in the world, whether it's written in Russian or Sanskrit or Chinese or Japanese, just whatever language, that it pulls it all in so that you actually get a comprehensive view. That we don't have that yet, because right now it's just targeted at reviewing selective sources. It's not taking all information in the world and helping you immediately catalog that. Perhaps someday.
Yeah, eventually. I don't think it's going to be made by OpenAI or any Western company, but
Yeah. No, I
most
think
likely eventually.
OpenAI will fall short on that.
Mm-mm-mm. Uh, Larry, I would like to ask you a question, and I haven't seen you write about this one, but that's a very interesting thing that I've been discussing with my friend Ricardo, that you met from our friendly channel, Fala Sério Total. It is so about the Digital Asset Market Clarity Act of 2025. The,
Yeah, I've
no idea.
never heard of it.
Okay, so I'll jump this ahead. Which I find interesting was that this happened simply before the push for voting happened simply before Trump traveled to China. Do you think that U.S. is trying to push the dollars, digital dollars like Tethering and all those stable coins into the world as, oh yeah, we have a good solution now, like something that we have never done before, and at the same time giving access to private companies to simply create digital coins, stable coins, and replace the printing machine of the United States?
I'm not sure I understand the question. Say it again. What you think that they're using stable coins to replace the dollar?
to replace the debt printing machine. Just create more stable coins and more stable coins. Digital currency that the United States will not have control over, but
So
private companies.
why would the United States want to create something it doesn't have control over?
That's a good question. That's why I would like to ask you that.
Yeah, yeah. No, I don't think that's it at all. I think this is all
Okay.
about the U.S. retaining control. So the issue, look, U.S. control in the world right now rests on two pillars. One, the willingness of other countries to purchase treasury bills, because if they purchase those treasury bills, they then are funding the United States deficit. It gives the United States, basically, these other countries are loaning the United States money. Uh, and the second pillar connected to that is the petrodollar, that all transactions in oil take place in dollars, no other currency. And so, what are we seeing take place now with respect to those two issues? There's increased movement away from buying oil with dollars. The yuan has become sort of the second place. It's still distant. It's not the dominant one yet, but the precedent has been set that you no longer have to buy the oil and pay for it in U.S. dollars. The Russians also have announced that they are going to be accepting payments in yuan, not dollars. So there you lose the petrodollar. And then with respect to treasury bills, the number of countries selling off their holdings of U.S. treasuries is increasing, not decreasing. So right away, you've got these two movements in the opposite direction of what the United States needs, regardless of whether it's actual currency or stable coins or whatever. And the little sign that that's going to turn around. So we're and then on top of it, that compounds it is the U.S. debt is growing at an accelerating rate. It was when Donald Trump took office, $37 trillion was 16 months ago. And now in that period, it's increased roughly $2 trillion and will soon probably cross, I think by the end of June, be as much as $3 trillion more, $40 trillion.
Well, good luck with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's move a little bit from, well, not moving from the United States to the center of the subjects. We have the Trump again menacing to strike Iran, strike hard, and do all those amazing things that the United States is capable of doing. And then we have Taco Tuesday again.
Yeah.
How serious can we take Trump's words at this point, Larry?
Well, you have to listen to what he says, but just recognize that he's, manipulating stock markets. That he's not a serious person in terms of trying to coordinate, the policy outcomes. He has, but I think he wants to attack Iran, renew those attacks this week. The question is whether or not he can do that. And that hinges upon whether or not Saudi Arabia and Qatar and Kuwait will give him permission to use their airspace and their bases to launch air refueling missions. That's it.